everyone. Welcome back to English in Real Life. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with my friend Mike.
Hey, everyone.
Today, I have to tell you the most beautiful and emotional love story I've ever heard. And the best part, it's a true story about my neighbor, Mary.
Oh, I love a good love story.
Me too. So Mary is 55 years old. She was married for 30 years to her husband, John. They had a wonderful life together, but sadly, John passed away 3 years ago. Mary was devastated. She thought she would never love again.
That's so sad.
Yes, it was very difficult for her. But then something amazing happened. Mary's daughter convinced her to join an online community for people who love gardening. Mary loves gardening, right? It's her passion.
That's sweet.
And in this online community, she met Robert. Robert is also 57 years old, and he's also a widower. He lost his wife 4 years ago. They started chatting about plants and flowers, and then they started video calling every week.
That's nice. Technology bringing people together.
Exactly. They talked for 6 months, every single day. They shared their lives, their stories, their hopes, and they fell in love. Can you imagine finding love again at 55?
That's beautiful. Where does Robert live?
That's the thing. Robert lives in Portugal, and Mary lives here in the United States. So after 6 months of video calls, Robert invited Mary to visit him in Lisbon.
Wow, that's a big step.
A huge step. And here's the important part. This was Mary's first time traveling internationally alone. She had traveled with her husband before, but John always handled everything. The tickets, the check-in, the documents, everything. Mary never paid attention to these details.
Oh, no. So she didn't know what to do at the airport?
Exactly. She was so nervous. She wanted everything to be perfect because she was finally going to meet Robert in person. She couldn't miss this flight.
I can feel the pressure already.
Right? So today, we're going to talk about Mary's experience at the airport check-in. She faced several difficulties, but she managed to solve all of them. And you know what? Her story teaches us important English phrases and vocabulary for airport check-in. This is a story about love, courage, and learning English in real situations.
I'm so excited to hear this. And I know our friend Lisa will help explain the important phrases.
Perfect. So let's begin Mary's airport adventure. Okay. So Mary arrived at the airport 3 hours before her flight. She was carrying 2 large suitcases and a backpack.
3 hours early? That's good.
Yes, she was very organized. But when she entered the airport, she felt lost. There were so many people, so many screens, so many signs. She didn't know where to go first.
That's normal. Airports can be overwhelming, especially international terminals.
Exactly. So Mary looked around and saw a sign that said, check-in counters, with an arrow. She followed the arrow and found the area for her airline. But then she had her first real problem.
What happened?
There were 2 lines. One line had a sign that said, online check-in and bag drop. The other line said, check-in counter. Mary didn't do online check-in because she didn't know how, so she wasn't sure which line to join.
That's confusing. Which one did she choose?
Well, she stood there for a minute, looking at both lines. Finally, she approached a staff member and asked, "Excuse me, which line should I join? I didn't check in online." And the staff member said, "You need the check-in counter line, ma'am."
Good. She asked for help. That's important.
Exactly. So she joined the check-in counter line. The line was long, about 20 people. Mary waited for 30 minutes. She was getting more and more nervous. She kept thinking, what if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I miss my flight?
Poor Mary. I understand that feeling.
Finally, it was her turn. She walked to the counter. The agent was a young woman, very professional, and this is where Mary's first real problem happened. The agent smiled and said, "Good morning. May I have your passport and ticket confirmation, please?
Okay, that's a standard request.
Yes. Mary gave her passport to the agent, but then the agent looked at the passport, then at the computer, then at the passport again. Her smile disappeared. She looked concerned.
Uh-oh, that's never a good sign.
The agent said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I see a problem here. The name on your ticket doesn't match the name on your passport exactly."
Oh no, what was the difference?
So Mary's full name on her passport is Mary Elizabeth Johnson. That's her first name, middle name, and last name. But when Mary's daughter bought the ticket online for her, she only put Mary Johnson. She forgot the middle name.
That's a big problem. I've heard that names have to match exactly.
Yes, and Mary didn't know this. She started to panic. She said, "Oh my God, what can I do? I need to catch this flight. It's very important."
What did the agent say?
The agent said, "Don't worry, ma'am. Let me check if we can fix this. Sometimes we can make corrections, but there might be a fee."
At least she was trying to help. But wait, let me ask Lisa to explain this name issue. Lisa, can you help us understand this?
Of course, Mike. Hello, everyone. So this is very important. This is one of the most common problems at check-in. Your ticket name must match your passport name exactly. Every single letter, every single name. If your passport says Mary Elizabeth Johnson, your ticket must say Mary Elizabeth Johnson too. Not Mary Johnson, not M. Elizabeth Johnson, not Mary E. Johnson. Exactly the same.
What happens if the names don't match?
The airline can refuse to let you board the plane. It's a security rule. They need to confirm that you are the same person on the ticket and the passport. So everyone listening, always check your ticket before you go to the airport. Make sure your name is exactly like your passport. First name, middle name if you have one, and last name. Don't forget any letters or names.
That's such important information. What phrases should we know for this situation?
Good question. When the agent asks for documents, they might say, "May I have your passport and ticket confirmation?" Or, "Can I see your passport, please?" Or, "Your documents, please." You should always have these ready before you get to the counter. And when there's a problem, the agent might say, "I'm sorry, but there's an issue with your reservation." Or, "I see a problem here." Or, "The names don't match." Or, "There's a discrepancy in the names." The word discrepancy means difference or mistake.
And what should we say if this happens to us?
Don't panic. Just listen carefully and ask, "What can I do to fix this?" Or, "Is there a solution?" Or, "Can you correct it?" Or, "Is it possible to fix this?" And if there's a fee, you'll hear, "There's a charge of X dollars," or "The fee is X dollars." Okay, Mike and Sarah, please continue with Mary's story.
Thanks, Lisa. So, Sarah, what happened next?
Well, Mary asked, "Can you fix this? How much is the fee?"
Smart question.
The agent typed on her computer for a few minutes. It felt like forever for Mary. Finally, the agent said, "Okay, I can correct the name on your ticket. The fee is $75. Do you want me to proceed?"
$75? That's expensive, but missing the flight would be worse.
Exactly what Mary thought. She said, "Yes, please. Please fix it. Here's my credit card."
She had to pay right there at the counter?
Yes. The agent processed the payment, corrected the name on the ticket, and said, "All done. Your name is now correct. Mary Elizabeth Johnson. You're all set."
At least the problem was solved, but that must have been stressful for Mary.
Very stressful. But Mary felt relieved. She thought the worst was over. However, her difficulties weren't finished yet.
Oh no! What else happened?
After fixing the name issue, the agent said, "Okay, Miss Johnson, now let's check your baggage. How many bags are you checking today?"
This is the next step, right? After documents, you deal with luggage.
Exactly. Mary said, I have 2 suitcases to check, and I'm keeping this backpack with me as carry-on.
That sounds normal.
The agent said, perfect. Please place your first suitcase on the scale. Mary lifted her first suitcase and put it on the scale. The agent looked at the screen and said, this bag weighs 23 kilograms. That's within the limit. Good.
Okay, so the first bag was fine.
Right, so Mary felt relieved. She thought, great, no problem. But then she put her second suitcase on the scale. The agent's face changed. She said, ma'am, this bag weighs 31 kilograms. That's 8 kilograms over the limit.
Oh no, not again.
Mary's heart sank. She said, over the limit? What does that mean?
Let me ask Lisa to explain this. Lisa, can you help with the baggage vocabulary?
Yes, so over the limit means more than the maximum allowed weight. The opposite is within the limit or under the limit, which means, okay, most international flights allow up to 23 kilograms per bag. That's about 50 pounds. If your bag is heavier, you pay an extra fee, usually a very expensive fee.
So what can someone do if their bag is overweight?
You have 2 options. You can pay the overweight baggage fee, which can be $100 to $200 or more, or you can redistribute the weight. That means taking things from the heavy bag and putting them in the lighter bag or your carry-on. Let me teach you the important baggage vocabulary now. To check a bag or to check luggage means to give your suitcase to the airline. They put it in the airplane cargo. Carry-on or hand luggage is the small bag you take with you on the plane. The scale is the machine that weighs your bag. Overweight means too heavy. Baggage claim ticket or luggage tag receipt is the paper that proves your bag belongs to you. What are some useful phrases for this situation?
Great question. You can ask, is this bag within the limit? That means, is this bag okay? If you need to rearrange, you can say, can I redistribute the weight? Or can I move things to another bag? And always ask before you go to the airport, what's the baggage allowance? That means, how much weight is allowed? Okay, back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Lisa. So the agent explained to Mary, your bag is too heavy. The limit is 23 kilograms. This bag is 31 kilograms. You have 2 options. You can pay an overweight baggage fee of $150, or you can remove some items from this bag and put them in your other bag or carry-on.
$150? That's a lot.
Mary couldn't believe it. She already paid $75 for the name correction, now another $150. She said, can I rearrange my bags? Can I move things around?
Good thinking.
The agent said, yes, you can, but please be quick. There are other passengers waiting.
Oh, the pressure.
Mary was so embarrassed. She moved to the side with her 2 suitcases and her backpack. She opened the heavy suitcase. It was full of gifts for Robert. Bottles of wine, chocolates, books, a heavy picture frame. She started taking items out.
Poor Mary, everyone was watching her?
Yes, people were staring at her, but she didn't care. She just wanted to fix the problem. Mary took out 3 bottles of wine and the heavy picture frame. She put them in her other suitcase. Then she put some chocolates in her backpack.
Smart moves.
After 5 minutes of rearranging, Mary put the suitcase back on the scale. 24 kilograms, still 1 kilogram over.
Oh no, so close.
Mary was so embarrassed. The agent said, still 1 kilogram too much. You need to remove a little more.
This is torture.
Mary opened the suitcase again. She took out a pair of shoes and put them in her backpack. Back on the scale, 22.5 kilograms.
Perfect.
The agent smiled and said, great, now both bags are within the limit. Let me tag them. She put tags on both suitcases and said, your bags will go to Lisbon. Here are your baggage claim tickets. Keep these safe. You'll need them to identify your bags when you arrive.
Finally, that problem was solved, but Mary must have been exhausted by this point.
She was. She thought, okay, the worst is over. Now I just get my boarding pass and go. But there was one more problem.
Another one? What happened?
After the baggage was checked, the agent started typing on her computer. She said, "Okay, Miss Johnson, now let's select your seat. Let me see what's available."
This is the final step, right?
Yes. The agent looked at the screen and said, "I have a middle seat in row 32 or a middle seat in row 40. Which do you prefer?"
Both middle seats? That's not great.
Mary doesn't like middle seats. Nobody does. She said, "Don't you have a window seat or an aisle seat?"
That's a reasonable question.
The agent said, "I'm sorry, all window and aisle seats are taken in economy class. The only way to get a window or aisle seat is to upgrade to premium economy. That's an additional $200.
$200 after she already paid $75 for the name correction?
Exactly. Mary was upset. She had already spent so much money. She said, $200 just for a better seat? That's too expensive. Isn't there anything else available?"
She's trying to negotiate. Good for her.
The agent said, "Let me check. Okay, I found one aisle seat in row 45. It's near the back of the plane, close to the bathrooms. But it's an aisle seat in economy, no extra charge."
Near the bathrooms? That's not ideal, but better than a middle seat. Let me ask Lisa about seating vocabulary. Lisa, can you explain the seating options?
Sure. So there are 3 types of seats on most airplanes. Window seat is next to the window. You can see outside, but you have to ask people to move if you need to go to the bathroom. Aisle seat is next to the aisle, the walkway. You can get up easily, but people might bump into you. Middle seat is between 2 people. It's the least popular seat because you're between 2 passengers.
What phrases should we know about seating?
So you can ask, "Can I have a window seat?" Or, "Is there an aisle seat available?" Or, "I prefer an aisle seat." If everything is taken, the agent might say, "All window seats are taken," or "Everything is booked," or "Only middle seats are left." You can also ask, "Can I see the seat map?" That's a diagram showing all seats and which ones are available. And remember, your boarding pass has important information: your name, flight number, gate number, seat number, and boarding time. Always check these details. Make sure the name is correct and note the gate number and boarding time. Don't miss your flight. Okay, back to Mary's story.
Thanks, Lisa. So Mary thought about it for a moment. The flight to Lisbon was 8 hours long. She definitely didn't want to be in the middle for 8 hours. She said, "I'll take the aisle seat in row 45. That's fine. Thank you."
Good decision. Sometimes you have to compromise.
Exactly. The agent said, "Perfect. You're all set. Here's your boarding pass. You're in seat 45C. Your gate is B12. Boarding starts at 2:30 p.m. Please be at the gate at least 30 minutes before boarding. Have a great flight."
Finally, all problems solved.
Yes, Mary took her boarding pass and felt a huge wave of relief. She said, "Thank you so much for your help," to the agent. And the agent smiled and said, "You're welcome. Enjoy your trip."
She did it. She handled everything.
She did. Mary walked away from the check-in counter feeling exhausted but proud. She had solved every problem. She had fixed the name issue, rearranged her bags, and gotten a decent seat. Now she just had to go through security and get to her gate.
That's impressive. These problems are stressful, but Mary handled them well.
She really did. She asked questions, she negotiated, she solved problems. That's exactly what you need to do at the airport.
So, Mary finally finished the check-in process. It was difficult, it was stressful, and it was expensive, but she learned so much.
She sure did. And now she knows what to do next time.
Exactly. And you know what? Mary got on that plane, she flew to Lisbon, and she met Robert at the airport. When she saw him in person for the first time, holding flowers and smiling, all the stress from check-in disappeared. It was worth it.
Aw, that's so beautiful. What happened next? Did they have a good time together?
Oh, they had an amazing time. But that's a story for another episode. Mary's adventure in Portugal, meeting Robert, exploring Lisbon. There's so much more to tell.
I can't wait to hear it.
So, everyone, thank you for listening to Mary's airport check-in story. I hope you learned useful phrases and vocabulary. Remember the important lessons. Always check that your ticket name matches your passport exactly. Weigh your bags before you go to the airport, and don't be afraid to ask questions at check-in.
Yes, communication is key. Even if you're nervous, speak up and ask for help. And arrive early. Give yourself plenty of time.
Exactly. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment telling us what you want to learn next. Should we continue Mary's story? Do you want to hear about her arrival in Lisbon? Let us know.
See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Safe travels!